Hi there, this is Kathy Crow. Thank you so much for joining me. This is going to be a quick day today. Beautiful Gallery is just some DSP that's pretty easy to use, so I think you'll enjoy looking at that. I know I'm really bright. I'll just cover that with my hand. You can tell I'm still congested somewhat. At least I can taste and smell again because I thought that was just because I was all stuffed up. And then when I cleared quite a bit and had absolutely none of those senses, I was scared. So thank you for your prayers for all of those of you who I've asked to pray. And please pray for me if you're a believer in Jesus. I appreciate you praying for me because the guarantee of it all coming back is not certain. I haven't been to the doctor because I thought I just had a cold, and now it's going. You know, I'm over the worst of it. It's all going away, and I looked online to see what to do about your sense of smell. I'll share later about that. It's very fascinating because unfortunately, a whole bunch of people had this issue during the COVID pandemic. And I do not believe I had COVID, but you never know. It's possible. There are so many variants of it, and it could easily, I've heard other people say, it was just like a cold. So Jeff got it. He did not have this issue. Of course, you know, he's not me. So, all right. So enough chat about that. Today, that beautiful gallery is really beautiful. I knew it was pretty when I saw it online or I think I saw it online first, but it's just really stunning. There's so many things you can do with it. And today, oh boy, this is Thursday, so it was like 4 days ago, when you saw my newsletter, you noticed I did a whole lot of old stamps with it because it just really is an animal stamp one. But today I'm using a ladybug, but not the one you're probably thinking of, because I also am pulling out a couple of old stamps today. Don't be afraid to use your old things. That's something that if you want to join my team, I encourage people to do that. And we have a lot of fun doing that. So there is a special on. That's why I'm mentioning that. Anyhow, I am going to turn the camera down. Jeff will be home before too awfully long. He is in Spokane today. Can you believe it? Spokane. That's the ceiling. We don't need to see that. All right. So as you can see, I've got Field Journal out. That is a very old one, isn't it? Did you get that one? I don't know if you did, but if you didn't, I'm terribly, terribly sorry, because it's a really good one. So that is the little ladybug I'm going to be using on that leaf today. And then I also have Sailing Home because I'm going to use it as well. Now let me show you what we're going to do first. So I might get to 2 cards. I know I did an easel one, I think like a week ago, but I'm thinking it wouldn't be bad to do one again because it just, this DSP easel cards are really good when you want to so very much feature all of the wonderful DSP. So, and also here's this. Oh, where are my glasses? I'm going to need those. You can go to my website. I do put my videos on there first after YouTube. So it all goes on that day. And you can probably be alerted more easily from here. Now, if you share and if you subscribe, that's right, if you subscribe to YouTube, which I would really encourage you to do that, and I hope you do, please do, then you would get notified, I suspect, but you can always change those settings if you don't want to be. I'm going to use Mossy Meadow with this. Now, let me show you the papers really quickly. I'm going to use this sheet. And this one is not quite the same as it comes. This is how it comes. It's very gray sky, very muted. Looks like a gray, cloudy day. But I didn't want my card with the Field Journal to be muted. So what I did is I just took my Balmy Blue, or that actually is looking like Pool Party. And I sponged here and here. And then I took my Daffodil Delight and sponged here and here, or Lemon Lolly. Either one will work. Got some sun, yellow sun, and some blue sky in there. Mostly a lot of blue sky here and some reflected in these darker clouds. Just so that you can see, you don't have to stick with this muted coloring, because although it is beautiful, it's a little bit somber. Now this is really pretty, but I love the colors because they're like pretty peacock is in there, and it's my favorite. But and I like it. It's almost fairy tale looking. Now isn't that gorgeous? I'll show you the back sides in a minute. I love that. But again, these are great. This is like a Missouri landscape. I mean, it's gorgeous. Not so much that one. Now that has a peach. Probably, oh, what is that color, do you think? Well, they always say on the back, so let's look. It says, I don't see it. It's, peach pie, there you go. So it is peach, but anyway, it's very pretty. There's a floral, there's a few florals. Those are really gorgeous. I think I've used those already to show you those. So let me take my, I save these so I know what in the world it is. There's almost like a map, and then there's that pattern. This painted palette? Is it palette or palette? I don't know. Anyhow, oh, that's gorgeous. Yeah, I love all of them. The only one I'm not, I love that. I don't know how I'm going to use the map. That one I'm perplexed by. It's nice, but I'm not sure of that. So the first part I'm going to do is going to use this one that I've already sponged. I do use these that the dies come in, and I shove those in there with its little name, and then I know what it is, and I can keep those stored better. So what we're going to do is talk just for a second as I get this ready. This is Mossy Meadow with 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We're going to start with a card base and put that right on there. There is this join special, so if you would like to have a variety of things, then you know what, this is not going to be big enough. I want to use, let me see how big of a piece I'm going to get. I want this spike to be in the center. Actually, that will be just fine. I'm going to take my little pencil and mark this because I want to see where the outline of this is. And I'm going to be cutting that away so I can go right ahead and mark it. So now I know where I want this centered, and then I'm going to just cut 1/8 of an inch off of where my lines are, and then that will give me a nice edge here. Okay, does that make sense? The joint offer is $99. For $99, you get your you get $165 worth of items. You can pick anything that you want that's a current Stampin' Up! Item. I have no idea what's current and what's not. I'm busy out in the garden a lot. In fact, that's why my face is so red today. It's because I am out in the garden. Oops, is that? Yeah, that's about right. I actually accidentally did that. So that is good. Let's do this one just a little on the short side, but not too much, because I'm not real sure where that's going to come on the card. So let's, I think that's correct right there. So this would be, no, it's pretty close. That's good though. I don't want a huge edge, just a little edge is fine. Now, if you want to save as much of it as you possibly can, you would want to cut it here and have your spike on the side. And then that'll leave you a nice piece, or keep your spike, you know, and make it a narrower card. You can do that. You can do all kinds of things. I like the spike. So I'm going to take off some of my dark clouds on the side over here. And then we're going to just measure over I'm going to go 4 1/8 inch. Since I ended up having pretty small borders on that bottom and top. That's not quite enough. Let's take just a tiny bit more. That is not enough for me to save. That is cute, but I'm not saving it. Just a little bit more. So you can pick anything you want. When you join, you know, this is the deal. It is a trial period, both for Stampin' Up! And for you. So you don't have to stay. If you don't want to, just don't buy anything else. And then you will eventually be dropped, and they will send you a nice thank you for being with us. We really appreciated you. You can join again at a later time if you choose to. Sometimes finances change and you just didn't have the money you thought you might have to spend on your Stampin' Up! Supplies. So don't worry about that. I'm going to trim this just a bit. It looks like it's a little bit on the wide side. Okay, and then this one, let's see if it's a little bit, yes, it's a little bit on the wide side this way too. We'll have to double it up though, because I don't want it to be, there we go. All right, it was just one side that was doubled up. Now I'm gonna just do simple cards today. So this one's gonna just get glued on right on the top. Now this is a beautiful background, this landscape, and a lot of times with this kind of a landscape, I will really want to texture it. And you could put it through an embossing folder and you would end up with a beautiful texture. That would be wonderful. So just feel free to do that if you like. Boy, my voice, I don't talk a lot during the day. And I had, oh boy, when we were at church, because of my, Jeff said to me, he said on last Saturday night, are you going to be able to go tomorrow? Because on Sundays, on 2 Sundays of every month, we volunteer with our middle school kids, and they're so fun. I love it. And I just thought, I don't want to miss that, and I also don't want to, you know, put people in a lurch by not showing up. And I actually have felt fine, other than just extreme congestion. So he was just concerned because I was just blowing my nose. Well, you heard me last week. It was really horrible. But I just thought, you know, God wants me to do this. He's kind of given me a lease on life from cancer to do these kinds of things. So I'm not going to disappoint him, and I am going to count on him to get me well enough to do it, so I'm not sharing germs with anyone. So I said, I'm perfectly confident I'll be fine in the morning. We will see. We will see. And if I'm not, then, you know, we'll call him and let him, or we'll let him know. So I was fine. I felt fine. But when I got, so we did our stint with them. They were so fun, cute. And I shouldn't say cute. I know none of them listen or even know anything about this. So it's okay, I guess I can say. Middle schoolers probably don't like to be called cute unless they're girls, but they all are quite cute. They're fun and cute. Anyway, I started to sing it afterwards in the worship service. Well, even I did it in their worship service when they had their, well, they didn't have their worship service, did they? I think this was Move Up Sunday for the seniors. So I got spared that because normally I would have been singing and I would have had a coughing fit in there. But anyhow, I did not know I was going to have a coughing fit at that time when I started singing because we missed the worship service. So anyway, so I'm just going to use this cute little butterfly. Now this is so cute. I wish Stampin' Up! Would put the dates on their stamp sets. They don't. And then I never know what year it came from. So I'm terribly sorry. I just know this one's really old, and I got it for that squirrel. He's so cute. Or chipmunk, actually. But this ladybug is adorable, too. Oops, I do need that light. And Mossy Meadow, it stamps up really nicely. Okay, I'm going to kind of stick it in the center here, because I'm not sure exactly where I am going to. I better do my sentiment. This one has a really cute one that says a little kindness makes a big difference. Excuse me. So that one's perfect for our little ladybug. Now this is a very messy stamp. And Mossy Meadow I always have a lot of trouble getting at. I mean, it just like messes up my simple chamois thing that I clean my stamps with really quick. So I'm going to actually do a preview baby wipe on that just to kind of get some of that ink off. And then I'll wipe that because I don't really know how baby wipes affect my stamp. So I do like to get water off on it and get that stuff off. Anyway, went in singing happily, felt a little bit of coughing, and realized very quickly, you're gonna die in here, so stop singing. So I stopped, and I didn't cough, I don't think then, but later, I had a major coughing fit. It was pretty bad. I told Jeff, I think I'm gonna have to leave. And I didn't. I actually finally found a cough drop. I just could not find a cough drop in my cup. I don't need cough drops much. Those are, just for when I'm sick. And actually with this kind of illness, the coughing wasn't so bad for me. Jeff had more of the coughing, but I didn't. All right. So anyhow, I hope you have not had this. It's pretty horrible. And losing my sense of taste was the worst thing. I thought it was just sense of taste because, because I was so stuffed up, I knew that I was not breathing properly, and I wasn't surprised I couldn't smell anything or taste anything while I was sick, but then it finally cleared up, and I couldn't taste anything, and I couldn't smell anything at all, the worst or the best. Strong. I couldn't smell my toothpaste, I couldn't smell my mint ice cream. I tried, I couldn't taste it. I couldn't even tell it was mint. One of the days I even lost the sweet and salty and sour tastes on my tongue. I didn't even have that, which that's a tongue thing. So I was really concerned, and I told everybody, please pray for me, because I didn't realize how much of my joy is wrapped up in smelling and tasting. It's like all of it practically. I was very disgusted with myself that I have such a lack of appreciation for God that wasn't enough, and I was very distressed. So they prayed for me. Everybody's been praying for me. So thank you so much, because God has done it again, as he always does. Now, I don't know if it's all going to come back, It might just not. And so I'm really hoping it will. Now, I'm going to get, but I can taste one night, not last night. Yeah, was it last night? I think it was just last night. It was. I think it was just last night. Anyway, I had broccoli. I cooked my broccoli, which usually reeks up the whole house badly. And Jeff teases me about the broccoli for a while. You can do this if you want a smaller. I don't want a huge die covering up this beautiful card. So I don't mind having a little die, but I don't really want a huge one. So instead of doing the square like I was intending to, I'm going to do a circle. Circles tend to take up just a tiny bit less space. And we do have this really wonderful one called Spotlight on Nature. I don't think it's expired. It shouldn't be. And it has these nice little radiating ones. This is an old one, but it's cute. This is like from our tea set a long time ago. I've combined some things. Oh, perfect. There we go. So I'm going to get the words on here. It just looks like it's not, but it's going to fit. And then I will color this, and it's so cute. And look at how easy this is. Just so super easy to make any kind of a card that you want without having to buy a whole lot of stuff. So again, for your $99 and getting $165 worth, that's free shipping too, which that is no small joke these days. So take advantage of it. And then, and then you can get all kinds of things, and they're things that you can use like forever and ever. You do not have to get rid of things just because they Stampin' Up! Has gotten rid of it. You don't have to. Anyhow, I cooked the broccoli. You know how it smells. And I'm not fond of the smell at all, but I do love it. I love broccoli. It tastes delicious. It's just this after I've eaten it. It's the smell after I've eaten it. It's like, I don't want to smell that anymore. It stinks. Okay, so there we go. I'm a pretty sensitive smeller, and I didn't realize that, yeah, I was going to be really bummed if I could not get my sense of smell back again. So I'm so grateful. Now, these do layer, but they're going to be just a tiny bit bigger than I like. So instead of using that, I'm going to get out my circle dies. I have many that I've combined them from a few different sets, and then that way I can find one that's gonna fit here. So that's too small. This is gonna be too big. Actually, it's not too bad, but it is pretty big. That one's gonna be too small. It's gonna be too big. No, that one's perfect. So we're gonna use Mossy Meadow for this one. Oh, I didn't get out another piece of Mossy Meadow. Let me grab I'm pretty sure I have a little scrap of it in here. And in fact, Old Olive wouldn't be bad either, but I know I've got Mossy Meadow. Just keep looking, it's here. There it is, okay. And it is just a little scrap, perfect for this. So I'm gonna do that on the side over here really quick so that I get them done quickly. Spokane is about a 20-minute drive away, and I never remember what the school schedules are, so I don't know if they're out early or late or what, but I just know that I have to get my vegetables and me in a reasonable amount of time every day. So I still have my cooked broccoli up there, and I could taste it. When I was cooking it, I could smell it a little. I mean, it was very, very, I stuck my nose right down there in the steam and inhaled and thought, I can smell it, barely, but I can smell it. I was overjoyed. Thank you, Lord. Because that just means I'm going to get my smell back. And then when I could taste the broccoli, I was like, hallelujah. I let everybody know. Thank you for praying for me. Because, when you can't taste anything, it's really a bummer. I was envisioning not being able to taste anything for the rest of my life. And that did not seem pleasant. And I know it happens, and people live with it. Now, I went online to see when I felt like I wasn't really sure whether it was coming back or not, and I didn't want to be acting like a depressed, sad just because I can't taste when everybody else can. I think I'm going to just use Sweet Sorbet because I'm kind of like really hunting for red and didn't find it. Let me do a little test here to see. Yes, you're red enough. Okay, like right here on our little, this is a marker. Normally I wouldn't use a marker, but I am today just to get our thing done because I couldn't find anything. But I do need a blending pen for that leaf. I definitely don't want a marker on that. Okay, we're gonna do, we need something very pale, very, very, very pale. So I'm gonna find soft sea foam. It's one that I use quite a lot to keep things down. I do have other pens that I pull out at times, but this has got a nice color to it, so it'll give us a green. It's not a very dark green, but I don't want to cover up those lines. They're very pretty. Okay, so that's all I did, and that looks great. And then we're gonna stick that one on, and you could take, your blue. What part of the sky do I want to cover? I'm going to cover that part. I want my spike coming up. It's cute. Now a smaller one, I think I would have been happier with, but that's okay. This is going to work just fine. And there we go. And then I can go on to the next one. A little bit of ribbon wouldn't hurt, but it's just going to take away from my paper. And I want to show that paper. It's so pretty. Okay, again, we'll just sponge that with a blue and a little bit of yellow. You get a nice bright, happy sky. So I went online to see how do you have enjoying life without smelling or tasting. And there is a very nice little blog that somebody did, and someone who was born without the ability to, taste or smell very much. I mean, I don't think people generally, unless there's been an injury, they are not completely without. Very good. I love it. But by the time I read it, I had the very next day. I only had the no salty or no sweet one day. So the next day I had salty and sweet taste and back again. So I was thrilled, like, oh yes, yes, yes. And then when I could smell again and all, then I just stopped looking, you know. But I was thinking I might not have the ability ever again. And the big part of my life is smelling my flowers. In fact, when I sat out there, I didn't even go out and look at my flowers. Because every flower out there has been planted for scent. Every single one. With the exception of the phlox, the little woodland. Even that has a nice scent, or did to me. I don't know if it still will. I might never be able to smell those kinds of most subtle scents, but I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. All right, now for this card, what we're going to do is cut this 4 1/4 in half lengthwise, so you have 4 1/4 by 11. And so I'll just do that, and let me put my green away. And anyway, so this blog was very good. So if you do not have the ability to do that, I mean, you might be somebody out there who says to yourself, I understand completely, because it was very depressing. In fact, I was surprised that so many people that have this problem, they suffer from depression. In fact, one page very depressingly said that if you lose all your sense of taste and smell, you are at risk for just dying within 5 years, which I thought that's silly. That's not going to happen. Okay, now score it at 5 1/2. We're doing an easel card, so score it at 5 1/2, and then here on this one, I didn't write it out. Let's see if this is where I want it. I actually want it to be a bit bigger. So I'm going to do this easel instead of it being, that's looking like 2 inches. I wanted it, I don't want it at 2 1/2. That's going to be too close to the halfway mark, but I don't want it, I just don't want it at just 2. We're going to go at 2, that's 2 1/4. That's too much, so 2 1/8. Oh, just a smidgen over 2 1/8. Okay, so now we've got a nicer little spot here, because I'm going to do the chip, and I want that chip to shine in here. And I'm afraid it wouldn't be able to. It was too small of an area. Okay, so let me get, I'm going to put this away. I don't think I need this color. And I'm getting, that color that you see is Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to pick out my Misty Moonlight and bring that over here. And then get our DSP out, and we will figure out what we want to show. All right, so this is good. I want that sky for sure. I want the boats, but I don't need all of them. I think I'm going to go just with the side. So we're going to go ahead and cut this at 4 1/8. And then that's going to leave me this, and that ship is a nice one. I can use that, so I'm going to put that aside. I need the shore, but I don't need all the sky, so we'll cut that off, and we will cut that at 5 2/3. Is that 2/3? 1, 2, yes. No, that's not 2/3. That is 1/8. That's 1/4. That is, it is 2/3. Okay, and 2/3, that doesn't seem right, but anyway, we're going to do it anyway. Yes, that's fine, because what I need to do is I need to trim it again. Some of it's going to be down here, some of it's going to be up here, and I want it to have a nice cut line along this horizon right here. Okay, I don't want it too high, too low. I'm going to cut just a tiny, tiny smidgen off the bottom. And then that way I can get a better cut here. Now I'm going to take my paper and just line it up so I can see exactly where it's going to cut to get what I want. And it's right on that horizon right there. So I'm going to cut that piece. and line that up on and see what kind of a border that gives me. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And then this is going to fit here. I don't want to cut this bottom because I want it to match this. And then to get the right border at the top, we're going to take almost 1/4 of an inch off, not quite. So I'm going to start at 1/8 of an inch just to make sure I don't get off too much. In fact, that looks like plenty. It is. It is. It is. Now that looks quite good. I love that. And we will glue that on, and then we'll do our little ship, and we're going to be done. These are super easy cards, aren't they? Because with the DSP, there you go. It's already made for you. It's already colored beautifully. And I do like to match up the style of stamp with the style of picture that's on it. And sometimes that's a bit of a challenge because you know, like this year's catalog, I think there's a lot of caricature kind of pictures in it rather than traditional portrait, what's the word, like pencil drawing, you know, ones. There's a really cool artsy one, but I'm not talking about artsy. I'm just talking about your standard picture that looks like what it is, and it's not, you know, looking like a cartoon or anything. So I don't know what that's called, but all right, beautiful. I love this. This is so pretty. Now I did want to, let me take a scrap of this. I want to see how wide this needs to be. So if I do this ship, or no, I'm not doing the ship. That's right. I don't want to do the ship because we have a ship, and I'm using that one later. I didn't want to use that for today. I'm actually going to use just this anchor, and I wanted to display this this card, you know, as for the paper. So I'm going to use this "Let Hope Be Your Anchor Through the Storms of Life." I thought that was appropriate for this picture. It also has these little birds on it, and I like that. And the anchor. Now, I don't know if I can do that anchor. I mean, all that word. That seems like a lot of words, and this is going to go like this. All right, I don't know. We're going to work on this and see what happens because I don't want to cover everything up, but on the other hand, it's got to be big enough to do what I wanted to do, and so we will just see. I might have to change my plan just a little bit. Anyhow, so one of the ways that you are to, she said, I can taste things. It's just that it doesn't taste the same as I suppose. She wouldn't know because she had not been, she was born that way, but you compensate, basically. You compensate with other things of enjoyment, and that's probably the key for anything that you lose. So I thought I don't need to whine to myself about not being able to smell my flowers. I can sit out on the porch and enjoy those beautiful flowers because they're really looking good now. Really good. And I'm going to test this and see how big of a... Because you see, you want it to be sticking up is the point. So it can be a little bigger than that, but I don't really want it any bigger than that. I don't mind covering up this tiny little sailboat, but I really don't want to cover up all of these. I can come up pretty far, but not too far. Okay, so now I'm kind of figuring what I'm doing. So this is the size I'm going to use. That's pretty small. And I don't think that stamp set's going to fit in there, and it certainly won't with an anchor on it and all. But let's just peek and see. This is the one. Of course, it's the bigger one. It does fit, barely, but it does. Perfect. And then I can still get my birds on it as well. Very happy about that. So let's go ahead and stamp that. I'll just do it with Misty Moonlight. And so I did it the next day. I sat out on the porch and looked at my flowers. And I went down, and when I started to get depressed about something, I started to weed, which is always something that's been very therapeutic to me. I have a garden that I can weed again, and it's not enough of a garden to be a burden, which is nice. Because our last place was beautiful, but man, it was a lot of work, and I just physically don't have it in me anymore, especially now. And I'm sick too, so that's another reason. At least I'm not coughing all over you. I'm very happy about that. When I first started today, I wasn't really sure that wasn't going to happen, because I am still kind of sick, which actually makes me think good, because that means when I looked online, people who dry up completely and then still can't smell or taste anything, your prognosis is worse. You can do something called smell training, though, which basically is what it sounds like. You go smell it. You smell things every day, 2 times a day, you know, for 3 to 5 minutes for each thing. Do 6 to 10 things, strong smelling things, and then you have a good chance of getting at least some of your smell back. So that was encouraging. And I had done that, and totally unsuccessfully, I might add, because I still couldn't smell anything. But now I can, so grateful. Maybe the smell training helped, I don't know. It said that people get helped by it, but I do think it's just because I didn't really lose it. It's just my nose is damaged in there, and it might take a while for it to completely come back. And I do believe that God is just healing me, because until I didn't ask for prayers for a while, a long time really, for me, because I expected it to come back. I didn't think I was going to have an issue. And then I thought, God just wants me to ask people to pray. I need to. And so I did. And it was the very next day. In fact, for some people, it was that evening that he healed me. So thank you for doing that for me. I do appreciate it very much. All right. So, you know there is a new catalog, right? I hope you do, because there's a bunch of really nice things in it. I know I'm not showing a ton of those things, but that's okay. We've got like all year to do it, so I'm not in a big rush. I'm not going to put a mat on this. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it like this. But I did want to use my little birds. They're pretty cute. I might just put them in the sky. Okay, we'll use our Misty Moonlight. It's pretty dark, so I think it'll be fine. And let's turn you like that. Oh, I only got 2 inked. That's funny, isn't it? I didn't even ink one of them at all. I'm glad I didn't ink him up partially. That would have been much, much worse. Okay. We're going to go ahead and do the whole thing again, this time getting him completely inked up. And then we're going to turn it like, maybe like that. There we go. Okay, so now I have my birds in the sky, and I don't care for seagulls all that much. They're just okay. But they are fun to watch, so I do have to say I like watching birds, even if they're ones I'm not as fond of as other ones. Where did I put my stamps? Oh, they're right here, you ding-dong. All right, now we do want the little anchor. The little anchor's going to go like right there. I love that little anchor. I don't know that we want it in blue. I'm going to do blue, and then I'm going to also do Smoky Slate, and we'll decide which one is the better one. Because I think I would like Smoky Slate better for the most part. Pebble Path, actually, probably be quite good. Where is Smoky Slate? Yours missing. So I've got Gray Granite, and Gray. Where is Smoky Slate? I moved it, apparently. That is so strange. There it is. I had the wrong... Very strange, Catherine. Okay, so we'll put this one here. We'll do blue. I like it. It's looking really good. And I think I am going to just use it. It'll match everything really nicely. And then I'm going to get the die cut and get that cut. And I'm going to clean this off like that. And clean it again with water. And then we are done with this set. And I do really, this is one of my all-time favorite sets, all-time. Really love that one. Our new one is nice too, but it's happier. This one is more serious, and so it's really good to use for more somber, like Get Well, or like this one, Let Hope Be the Anchor Through the Storms of Life. Anybody who's struggling through something, like not being able to smell or taste. I mean, seriously, give them a card. I did not know how hard that was. And the other thing about it that the blogger wrote is that people are dismissive. They're not all that sympathetic. When you tell them, they're just not all that sympathetic. They tell you, well, it could have been worse. That is probably the worst thing, let me tell you. You already know, I'm sure. That's the worst thing to tell somebody who's going through a struggle, that it could be worse. Please don't ever say that. I know I have. I know I have, and I hate that I have, because until it's happened to you, you don't realize how hurtful that actually is to have somebody say, oh, well, it could have been worse. Like, well, obviously it could have been worse. I don't want it to be this bad. That's what I'm asking you to be sympathetic for. All right, so isn't that cute? I love that. So that's going to go there. This one, I think we'll just glue it right on. I don't think we need to do anything raised on it. In fact, I'm going to put my glue right here. I'm going to kind of put this on and smear it down just a little tiny bit so I get it exactly where I want, and making sure the glue is going this way on that card rather than the other way, because that's going to pop up like that. Now you do want some white here to write on, of course, and then we're also going to need to put a label to get that to hold when you, you know, you need a label. You need a label. So I think this is pretty close to being what I want. Not quite though. Let me grab, do I have another piece of white cardstock? I'm pretty sure. Oh, I've got one right here. So what we're going to do is cut our white cardstock for this centerpiece, and I'm going to do it a lot shorter. I'm going to go ahead and do this one at 5 1/4, and then at 4 inches. Okay, and then this white piece is going to just glue in here. So you have plenty of room to write on, and you could stamp more on it if you wanted to. So cute. Anyhow, so that was good. And what else did she say? Well, she said there's a lot of really good things about not being able to smell. And I thought, you know what, it's true. I've always been a super smeller, which means that there are things I just don't like. I mean, seriously don't like. And it makes it a problem sometimes to help other people if they don't smell exactly like I want them to. And, you know, some people just can't. They can't smell, for one thing. They don't know. And, it's just, it's hard. And I thought that would be something I could do better. And without being able to smell, I could actually do better. So I promised God, you can hold me to it. I promised that if he gave me my smeller back, I would do what I need to do, even if it stinks. Right? Because sometimes there are things, don't you remember when you were changing diapers for your kids? Like, you love your kids, so you can do it. But it's not easy doing something like that for somebody else. Now, I can put dimensionals here too, because remember, I didn't there. So it's going to just be level no matter what, with just the dimensionals all over this little anchor, because I did not put dimensionals on there, which is one reason I did that. If you put dimensionals on here and then dimensionals again on the anchor, you're going to have to put a double-sized one on these bottom ones that are off the label, just so that it's nice and level. and not doing that, I don't have to worry about it. And you can tie something right there. That looks so cool. A little tie and then fray it. I'm not going to take the time to do that, mostly just because these stamps are retired ones anyway, and I don't know whether you have them or not. But it's easy to find stamps that are sea-themed ones. And any sea-themed stamp, or birds even, shells would be really cool here, anything, right? Okay, now all I need is my little labels here, and I'm gonna do one with this Misty Moonlight. And you know what? I bet you I even have a Misty Moonlight already cut. Where are those labels? Oh, they're over here by me. I didn't even have to walk across the room, because I actually put them here near me, so I wouldn't have to do that. So I need to close up my pen container, because, oh man, why were you, there we go. What's sticking up here? There you go, okay. Oh, I thought they were here. Where are they? They're not. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna just cut one out then. I can't even find them. Oh, there they are. I see them now. My goodness. Night of Navy or Misty Moonlight will work. Either one. Let me see Misty Moonlight. I bet you there's some in here. It's a color I've used a ton, although I'm not seeing it right now. So let's look at old Night of Navy. Let's try that. There's Misty Moonlight. I knew you'd be there. Oh, you don't have one in that size. And I don't have night. I've used all my Night of Navy. Okay, we're gonna do old color then. All right, I've got a solution, so don't despair. It's just taking me a bit here to get it. Oh, that won't work. Ha! I'm gonna have to cut it anyway, because I don't have the one I thought I had, so how silly of me. So just take any die will work that's a rectangular one. It needs to be rectangular, and I have a great many of them. It needs to be skinny in a rectangle. Oh, I like the ticket. The ticket will be perfect. So that way it's gonna sit up exactly where I want it. I like the idea of having the ticket. You know, if I really wanted to, I could do my blue as a background and a white ticket. That would look really good. But I don't really want to put the word ticket on here anyway, because of the theme and the sentiment. So we're going to just go ahead with my ticket on Misty Moonlight. We'll just do that. And then I probably will write with a gel pen on that. Okay, so I need this on dimensionals, because this has to stand up pretty good. Otherwise, it won't give it a nice easel effect. So turn that to the back side and put your dimensionals on. And if you want to, you can do a double dimensional to get it up pretty high. I don't think that's necessary. It should be fine. And the problem is that the fatter you make your card, the harder it is for the post office to get things inexpensively delivered, and you're at risk of not getting it delivered when you want it. Okay, so there we go. Isn't that cute? So there's your easel card and this card, and that was that. Very easily done. Don't forget, this is the paper I used. It's called Beautiful Gallery, and it is beautiful. You're definitely going to want that. Is it in the catalog? I don't remember, because it might have been an online exclusive, but I'm pretty sure it's in the catalog. But don't forget, when you are online looking at Stampin' Up! Items, don't forget to always check out the last chance list. There's 3 lists. There's the annual catalog list. You can go and look, or you can just click stamps and look at all the stamps, no matter what category it is. If it's paper, I'm sure there's a paper category, and it'll show you all of it. you can click annual catalog and it'll show you things from the annual catalog, I think. Now, the site I get is a demonstrator one, so sometimes it's different than yours and I might be mistaken. So I hope not, but anyway, it's possible. But I'm saying this just to make sure you always check out the online exclusives. Because seriously, I think those have been some of the nicest stamps and dies this whole last year. So if you aren't looking at the online exclusives, you might be missing out on some things that you really wanted. And what happens is that you end up buying something else because you want something new, because it's fun and inspiring to do something new. And then later you'll see somebody do something and think, well, where was that? I was looking, but I didn't see that. It's because you didn't click online exclusives. So please do that. I'm going to be finished here in just a second. My nose is kind of running because I haven't been able to blow it. All right, let's click, and there we are. We are done. All right, you have a wonderful week. Join. It's easy. You don't have to stay. It's just something fun to do, and you're getting a good discount. Stampin' Up! Just wants to give you a chance to try it out. You do get a 20% discount on all your purchases if you decide to stay in. And then after a short bit, if you buy anything very much, you will be bumped up to 25%. It takes a while. But it's very nice to get 25% off of everything. And even the 20% off is on top of your sale items and things like that. So it adds up quite a bit. In fact, this glue, you can find this at any craft shop, but I will never buy it at a craft shop because I'm getting my percentage off on it. And even at 20%, it's not bad at all, especially if you're doing it like with your kit today, because you won't be paying shipping and handling on it either. It's free. Have a wonderful time. Next week's going to be fun because I'm going to be starting out with actual stamps. You won't have to just see paper anymore, I think. And I think we'll be doing some more traditional cards rather than these kind of cute little pop-up ones, which I really like doing, but not everyone likes to make them. But this one's just super easy and fun. So don't forget, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to know what's going on. Facebook is probably not notifying everybody anymore. I don't know. But if you follow me, they should, but I don't know that they are. I'm pretty random on here, not able to do it at the same time every week, and that's a real problem, I understand, and I'm so sorry, but it's the way my life is now. And it's good. It's all good. So I will see you later, and I think that's it. Bye.